We often hear or read the phrase, everyone likes dogs. We're told that if you don't like dogs, then there is something wrong with you. The first phrase is definitely not true, because I don't like dogs, and I would presume most of my viewers don't like dogs. I don't like dogs, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with me because of that viewpoint. There are a lot of things that I don't like. I can talk quite openly about my everyday dislikes and my everyday preferences, for that matter, without causing any controversy and without angering anyone. But if I say that I don't like dogs, I know that at the very least, I will be treated with disbelief. That is at the very least, but as I have said in previous videos, I have received death threats and extremely offensive comments about myself, my appearance, my kids, and the horrible things that dog worshippers hope will happen to me and my kids. These kinds of reactions are extreme, and there's no way of knowing what percentage of the dog worshipping population think like this. I am sure that they are in the minority, but these extreme responses represent part of a continuum, and they are a very noisy and well-organized part of that continuum. Owning a dog is a hobby. It is nothing else. It passes the time for some people. It provides an interest for others. Hobbies are great. They're educational. They are fun. They can keep you fit. They are relaxing. I'm all for hobbies. What I am not all for is people who force their hobbies onto me. I'm not in agreement with people who want me to admire their hobbies and then get nasty when I fail to do so. I enjoy painting and I enjoy ice skating in my spare time, but I do these things for my own enjoyment. They don't intrude on other people's lives. I don't insist that everyone has to enjoy these pastimes. I don't insist that people make special arrangements so that I can enjoy my hobbies. Once you apply dog worshipper logic into other activities, their logic becomes so obviously false. Dog worshippers want to bring their hobby into the park or the walking trail or onto the beach, and they expect the rest of us to adjust our behaviors to suit their hobby. When I think of applying dog worship behavior onto any other hobby, the examples I come up with are just so ridiculous. Think of your own hobby and how you might deliberately intrude it into everyone's life. I could take my unguarded skates down to the beach and swing them around my head holding onto the laces. It would be your responsibility not to get in the way of the whirling blades. That's how dog worshippers behave. Some hobbies are noisy, but general consideration usually sorts that out. If not, the law will usually act swiftly and effectively. If you are learning to play the drums or a saxophone and decided to practice at 3 a.m., unless you live in a very isolated place, then your practice is going to be cut short. If your hobby is owning a dog and the dog starts to bark at 3 a.m., then that's what dogs do, isn't it? It's unknown how many people object to how dogs and dog owners behave. I suspect that the majority of the population don't want to deal with dog noise or dogs jumping on them, licking them, or physically intruding on them. I can't imagine that anyone wants to be bitten or mauled. Dog worshippers will invent different terms, such as mouthing, to disguise the reality of bites. They will use a variety of strategies to downplay the reality of bites. So they are well aware that biting people is not consistent with the picture of unconditional love that they want to portray. We are a largely silent group. I have criticized the dog lobby for using anecdotal observations instead of scientific fact, but there is no available science. There is no way of knowing how many of us are critical of dogs to some degree. There's no way of knowing how many of us are sick and tired of the mawkish sentimentality attached to dogs, or how many of us are fed up with the constant presence of dogs in every aspect of the media. In this case, I have to fall back on anecdotal evidence and personal observation. I see people flinch or stand back when a dog puts its paws on them, but they say nothing. I see people straightening their clothes or wiping dirt off when dogs intrude, and again, they say nothing. I see people jump in fear when surprised by a dog bark. They might involuntarily call out an expletive, but they will usually do nothing. I see lots of evidence of people unhappy about so many aspects of dog behavior, but they remain quiet. The big question is, why do we put up with it? Like many things, there are no simple answers. A variety of possible reasons has come from the excellent comments from my subscribers. The possibilities you have provided are, in no particular order, propaganda, brainwashing, shaming and fear of shaming as consequences of complaining, upbringing, peer influence and group pressure, social conformity, fear of bullying from dog worshippers, acceptance that there is no point in reasoning with unreasonable people. There are more important things to worry about. Complaints and protests in the past have got nowhere. Inactivity or hostility on the part of authorities who are supposed to police the dog problem. Acceptance that dog love is the dominant majority view. And gaslighting. Dog worshippers brand us as crazy, and we accept that we might be. There's a movie made in 1976 called Network, in which a disturbed radio host tells his listeners the same thing I want to tell you, so I will just show you a clip from that movie.
We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!